Now, our feature presentation.
This is Ed McMahon. And now, here's Andrew.
Andrew Z. I love that Andrew Z. I said Andrew Z. In the morning, it's time to wake up. Andrew Z. In the morning, yeah. Come on.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It is Monday, January 11th, 2021. In the year of our Lord. We've got a good show planned for you today. I see, of course, Demetrius Nicodemus. I see Eastside's House Hygiena. Chris Tifo. Donnie P. Donnie P is probably one of the happiest days of his life, I'm assuming. We're going to find out here in a moment. Let's do this.
Andrew Z. In the morning.
Woo!
Donnie's got to be quiet. Family round. The Browns won last night.
What?
Your trailers, Steelers fans, start up the TikTok dances, you shit poopster. The Cleveland Browns just beat Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Fucking Pittsburgh, let's go! I never want to hear another 38-7 meme out of one of you inbred assholes' mouths ever again. Eric T. Brent tweeted, "Where are the Browns going? To the divisional round while you're watching us from your damn couch, you bum! Dropped from his prime! This is the best day of my life! The Steelers have bullied the Browns my entire lifetime! Steelers fans have bullied us! The Browns have been the butt of every joke!
Turn this guy off.
Anymore! This is a new chapter for the Browns! Let's go! Let's go! I'm gonna have a damn heart attack! I am so damn happy! Cleveland, let's fucking do this! Ah!
Okay.
And then his mom drove him home.
That's my brother-in-law's news feed during regular season for the Browns. I swear to God, that's how he acts. Regular season.
See, now I hate Browns fans. Gee, God dang it, that was a short-lived celebration. No, honestly, I had to Google how to win graciously last night. I was gonna post that on my Facebook, but I was like, I can't even talk that much shit. Oh my God. I mean, it was amazing.
Browns won. For those who don't know, Browns have won their first playoff game in 26 years.
Yes.
26 years.
Yeah.
And then I find out it's just like the first round of the playoffs, and everyone's acting like they've already got to the Super Bowl.
People, you're not a sports fan, so I feel like you don't have you have as much say in this as you do about parenting.
I enjoy watching the game.
Yeah, and you have nephews.
I enjoy watching the game, but I don't get into the whole statistics bullshit and all that stuff about it.
Well,
but they won the first round. Yeah, it's great if they won, but everyone's acting like they've already won the Super Bowl.
You don't understand the history.
So here's what
the history of 20 years of losses. I understand that you've had 20 years of losses. How you haven't been sold and resold and
do you understand?
I have the analogy.
I don't know.
Analogy. Hang on. I have the analogy. Hold on. I have it.
First one at a time.
If you got a date, this is how it would be for you, because you're not going all the way, but you haven't had a date in so long, so you're amped about this date.
Hey, can I say, Gina, can I add on to that? It's not like you just got a date. It's like the date actually showed up. So now there's somebody willing to eat dinner with you voluntarily. And it wasn't just I'll be there. She actually knocked on your door and showed up.
But see, at this point, I feel like I'm the Browns in the sense that you've gone 20 years of losses. At a certain point, your fans abandon you. At a certain point, women just look at you and go, "He's not really a safe bet." So, how they still have fans is confusing to me. How you can go 20 years and do nothing but lose and still have people go, "Yeah, you're a great team." It makes no freaking sense.
Okay.
You have 20 years of evidence of the opposite.
All right.
Do you understand the country that we live in?
So here's the thing: is that Tifo?
Shut up, Georgia.
When I sent Tifo that video this morning, he's like, well, "Did they win the Super Bowl? What they won?
I didn't say did they win the Super Bowl. I know the Super Bowl hasn't happened yet. I'm not stupid.
Well, you're like, did they win something?
I was like, yeah. Did they? I don't know what point of the championship this was. I wasn't really paying that much attention. I only started paying attention because people started blowing up my news feed about the Browns and Steelers.
So Tifo, are you trying to be funny right now? Because you just sound crazy. Like, are you just trying to be like the most obtuse person like, in the world right now?
When it comes to football,
I don't understand. Why is it?
When it comes to football stuff, yeah, I really am that obtuse. I enjoy watching the game. I do. I enjoy watching the game. I just don't get into I don't give a crap who wins.
Okay.
And see, ladies, this is why, ladies, I want everybody who's listening right now to understand that it doesn't necessarily mean Gina's going to be the one who expresses your opinion about sports, or sometimes you're always going to find somebody who agrees with you on this show. Sometimes it's in the form of a guy in a creepy beard. Now,
creepy.
So exactly, ladies, how you feel like why your man was jumping up and down yesterday, like that opinion is expressed in this young man here.
Go ahead, Donnie.
Oh, I don't know. I was just saying, like, you don't have to understand. I guess what I was trying to say is it's not that it's that big of a deal to you. I guess you can't appreciate how big of a deal it is to people that, like you said, like, how are you still fans? That's the point, is like being a Browns fan is like, it's a badge of honor. It's a badge of loyalty. It's a badge of sticking with
why
something.
would you be loyal to? Okay, so sticking with the relationship example, why would you be loyal to somebody who's done nothing but shit on you for 20 years?
Oh my God!
Because the Browns, they don't affect my life. So win or lose, like they don't affect my daily life. Like, it's
That's
not
the man
like
wearing nothing but Browns gear at the moment.
They won last night.
Okay. So here's the thing, Tifo. Let's
the worst, dude. I just cannot with him. The worst.
Here's the thing, Tifo.
I don't understand why you would hug somebody you hadn't seen in 20 years. This doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, you just find out that you have 3 twin sisters and you've just found them, and why would you hug them? You don't know.
Sisters spent 20 years shitting on you.
You don't know if they're shitty people or not.
Betraying your loyalty.
So Tifo, here's the thing. What if, let's say, you have a child, okay? And that child was trying to hit a golf ball every single day and never hit the golf ball. And then at year
he would break those golf clubs in front of that kid and say, never fucking do this again.
I'm not going to let my kid do some elitist freaking sport that's going to cost me thousands of dollars.
Oh my God, I cannot.
You shut your fucking cockhole.
Yes, thank you, D. Thank you. I want to say hi to Scott because he just popped on. He is him and I are Lions fans, so we feel Donnie 100% because the Lions are just, they never win, and they're always playing the refs, and it's so rough being a Lions fan. So
really, the Lions are always playing the refs.
Oh yes, they are. They are.
I would honestly, I would like to argue if that was the case, they'd have more wins. If it was just the refs that showed up.
So I woke up early this morning because the baby, she doesn't sleep through the night, so she will randomly get up. So around 4 o'clock or so, she came into the room and whatever. She always goes to Colleen's side, but you wake one up, you wake both up. So Colleen got her back with the other girls in the room to lay down for a couple minutes or whatever. And then Colleen comes back into bed. So then Colleen will like get sidle up. What do you call it when you come right up on somebody? She's like right up on me, a full king size bed. She's right up on me, which is fine, except for the fact that she can't sleep. She can't go back to sleep. I can though. So she's just tossing into, I'm like, get away from me. If you're going to be moving around, then move on that side of the bed. So you're not like right up on top of me. Like it's so annoying. So now I can't sleep. even though I'm like starting to fall, but she keeps moving, and then she cracks her ankle, like it just pops. I don't know what she does, but it's pop, 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 pop. I'm like, fucking get away from me right now. It's so annoying.
Her ankle popping was keeping you up.
The ankle popping, the turning, the everything. We had 1 more hour to sleep. I was falling back asleep, and I couldn't do it because she's doing this. And I'm like, just get away from me.
And now she's probably asleep, right?
Exactly. So annoying.
I remember when I was pregnant and I couldn't sleep, and I would look over at Dubs and he'd be just knocked out, sleeping so good. So I'd have to get up to pee or something. So I just like use his face to like his head to like get up, to like push myself up. You know, you set your hand on the pillow, so I just pushed myself up off his head. He wouldn't even wake up. He'd still be, and then I just cuss him out the whole way to the bathroom, the whole way back. And I would do that on purpose. I'd lay there and like flop on the bed real hard, like accidentally smack him with my hand, like when I'd roll over, and just because if I can't sleep, you can't sleep. We are a unit.
But see, that's not true. It's and why should the whole suffer for the half?
Exactly.
Like, you need a strong team.
We're together. If I can't sleep, he cannot sleep. That's the rule.
Yeah, but then you're both just tired in the morning and can't do stuff for the kids.
Yes, and he can commiserate with me, and he can know my pain. That's how it works. That's how marriage works, Tifel. You should get married right away.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah,
Yes.
I feel like it would make more sense to let him sleep, so then make him get up, so while you still sleep and you have to take care of the kids.
Yes,
that's a logical thought, but when you can't sleep and your significant other is just knocked out laying next to you, you're just no.
You get so mad. Why? Well, and here's the thing: the baby never comes to wake me up. She will only, and if I were to get up, she would just continue to scream and cry. Like there's no point in me getting up, so I get a pass automatically. And then I think it just infuriates Colleen even more. But if I were to get with the baby, if I had to get with the baby, it wouldn't solve any of the problems that are going on in the house at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so because the baby knows. Like, and that's what makes Colleen mad, is that you beat her to conditioning the baby. Like she like this. It was a race to determine and make sure that the baby understands that one of you is only going to meet its needs. And so, right. Yes. So he laid down, and the baby came to him a couple of times. The baby was like, "Hey, I'm going to try this out." And Andrew was like, "Fuck you, baby," and rolled back over and went to sleep. And so the baby was like, "Dude, I got hit with 3 fuck yous. I'm going to have to go to mom." And the baby was like, "Hey, mom." And baby, "Oh, absolutely, baby. I love you. You know, your dad loves you too. He just doesn't give a fuck about you early in the morning." So
I can wait the baby out. Like I'll just cry. I'll sleep through it. I don't care.
Yeah, you're like, "Look, I got a baby in me, and my baby is stronger than your baby, and my baby has the ability to wait your baby out."
And so I just I've learned. So I've been able to, like Dee said, I've been able to train the baby early on that I will disappoint you. So then now you don't come to me anymore. So it's genius.
Hell yeah!
But you're gonna be
snacks. You get onions.
You're gonna be awake anyways, though, because what's keeping Colleen awake, why she can't sleep, is her resentment for you. Yeah. That's why she couldn't get back to sleep. The anger was just palpable, and it was oozing out of her body onto you and keeping you awake.
That's it. That's real life, right? I'm telling you, that's it.
Both of you should just train the baby to go to the other kid's room.
I know. I don't know why she doesn't.
Mallory's your new mom now.
Yeah. Just do the right thing and get up with her, Ashley says. Donnie cannot disagree with that.
No, he's not. No, literally cannot. He's not allowed.
She's like 4 feet from him. She can throw things.
Yeah. Okay. Where are you, Donnie? That doesn't look like you're
Yes. We're at Maumee Bay, actually. It's Ashley's birthday. Whoa, see, I've got a custom setup today. So cool. Ashley's birthday is this week.
Happy birthday, Ashley.
Wednesday. Everyone said happy birthday, Ash. And I keep looking up because here it's Maumee Bay, but it's like one of those, it's a loft room. So I'm downstairs.
Whoa. God, you must make a lot of money at Taylor Kia.
Oh
That
no,
looks
it's a
really
Not
expensive.
that much. He's in Maumee Bay.
right.
not in
Hey.
They
Florida.
haven't redecorated that room since 1988.
They're up there. 1991, I think that's when they made this room, and it looks about the same.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we just came out to walk around. Honestly, there's a pool, there's a little game room, but just walk around the nature and relax. We went out to the beach last night. Oh, sorry, went out to the beach last night. It was pretty cold. One of the kids kicked their shoes off and walked around in the freezing cold sand. And I tricked Ashley into thinking I was going to do a polar plunge for a minute, but
It's cool of you for thinking of us, Donnie, and bringing your setup with you. That's awesome.
well, win or lose, I wanted to get on today because, the Browns it's the first time in 20 years they're in the playoffs. So I just thought it would be appropriate to at least come on and say, hey, it was a good run, or holy crap. They go up 35 to 7.
And it wasn't even that they won. They started the game out like the most Browns thing that could ever happened to the Steelers in the first drive. Like they snapped the ball and it went way over Roethlisberger's head, and the Browns scored a touchdown like immediately.
First play.
And so that but that was the most Browns thing that would happen to the Browns. It's like the universe like totally flip-flopped last night. And everything that happens to the Browns happened to the Steelers, and it was amazing to watch.
It was great.
Well, that's what you get when like you purposely let a team win because you thought you were going to roll over them in the playoffs.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, like all week was spent just taking away the Browns beat them in the final game of the season to go to the playoffs.
Oh.
And all week they had 4 of their starters rested, and all week everyone was like, "Oh, they play their backups; they're going to get stomped." They play their backups. And I was like, "Go ahead and keep saying that because it's only going to make the Browns play that much harder," which proved to be the case. When
they call that what locker room. What do they call it? Where because then when other teams make nasty quotes about you, they cut them like in the media. They cut them out and they stick them on the wall. So when you go in there, it's motivation to kick their ass.
Whiteboard material is like one name for it or something like that.
So I'm going to hijack this and say that's exactly what is happening with Ohio State, because Ohio State plays tonight. And this is like the Browns are Donnie's jam. I love the NFL too. I love football in general. But Ohio State is like I will die for team. Like I bleed scarlet and gray. Like I am like I wake up this morning. I plan my whole outfit around Saturdays. Typically, it's a Saturday, but I saved it for tonight because tonight is the championship game. So this is the Super Bowl of college football, and Ohio State is there. This has been a thing for as long as I can remember. That does Ohio State belong with the big boys? The SEC are the big boys, and everybody always has said that they do not belong. And then we won the first national championship after the BCS. That's probably too much to get into. But anyways, we won the first national championship, and that was really exciting for us. And then we have not won since. But the big boys, Clemson and Alabama, each have 2, and we only have 1. So we're proving not only should we have a seat at the table, but we need to have as many national championships as the big guys do. So we're pretty pumped. Yes, Ashley, go Bucks. I'm so excited. So I might not be on first thing tomorrow morning because it depends on how long.
But wait, Donnie came on first thing this morning. Why can't you?
Oh, yeah. Donnie's so much more dedicated than me. I'm not even going to pretend. Like, I'm not going to pretend. No way. No, I may or may not make it first thing in the morning. I will be dragging ass, and I probably won't have a voice.
You're dragging ass every morning.
Right, people, because I show up and do the job, and everybody else logs in about 2 minutes before we're supposed to start, but I drag ass. You got that. Okay.
Wow.
Wow. You come out, you bring the stream up, and then you leave to go put your coffee in. I call that dragging.
When I tell you, you don't want me to talk to you before I've had coffee. Do you know how much I dislike you when I first log on?
Ouch.
Yeah. So I dislike you after I've had coffee, but it is like intensified by 100 before I've had coffee.
So that's my secret. I just need to offer women coffee. They'll dislike me less.
Right.
And also maybe a roofie.
Wrong.
You're not wrong. All right. Well, congratulations to Demetrius Nicodemus, everybody. I don't know if you follow him on Facebook, but he posted a nice little picture and some commentary. These are the jeans I was rocking on October 31st of 2020. I'm not posting this for, hey, good job, or attaboy, but that's what you're getting. I'm posting this to let you know that if there is something you're trying to work on, it's not too late. You don't need a special program or some exotic food extract. You need you. I will be 49 years old in 10 days. Here, I want to add this. I will be 49 years old in 10 days. Work and commitment to want to be better. I'm not going to say it's easy. It's not. It's an everyday thing, and sometimes you fall off. The key is to start back and get back on. So there's Demetrius in his old jeans, and now just working out and hard work. And you go to the gym like at 3 a.m, don't you? 3 or 4 a.m?
Yeah, when they were open. When they were open at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now I go whenever like I can, but it's every day. And I've never been one to like grab a pair of jeans or do anything, but I walked into my office where my closet is, and I pulled them out, and I've never done that. And I just wanted to see what they looked like. And that's what I saw. I didn't go into this because I was like, wow, I just wanted to like get out of these jeans. I mean, that was just the end result of making a change. And it's not even a change because it sucks. There are days I would rather not fucking go. And when those days hit and it's really bad, I don't go. But I don't beat myself up about it and then not go the next day or not go the following day. I just move on. It's never like, and I think that's why I made the post, was because I don't want people to think that because you see some ridiculous post that says shed weight in these 5 easy steps, or if you take this pill, or if you use these products, if you wrap your body in menthol and then cover it in some kind of plastic wrap, then you miraculously lose all this. That's not a thing, and it's defeating. And you need to understand that it's hard. You'll have hard days. Some days it's easy. You wake up and you go, and some days it beats you down, but it's like that, and it's always going to be like that. You just have to understand that patience breaks everything. Just have a little bit of belief in yourself and be patient. Don't want to drop 100 pounds in a month. It's tiny progress that leads to huge progress. That's just how it is. I didn't change. I didn't jump on a diet. I just ate less crap than I usually do. I still eat cookies. I just don't eat a whole package of cookies.
Whoa.
Like I still eat barbecue. I just don't eat a half a pig. It's just like I don't deprive myself of any of those things. Yeah. I'm just very conscious of how much of those things I eat now, and what I have to do to offset what I eat.
Well, you look great. You look like one of your own teenage sons in that picture. That's what
No, I mean it's awesome. It's hard. It's a hard thing to do. They say that, or I think too, that the hardest addiction to kick is addiction to food, because if it's smoking, if it's drugs, if it's whatever else it is, you don't have to do it to survive. Like, you can cut it out and stay away from it, but food, you have to. It's a battle every 4 hours.
It really is. Demetrius did something. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. We were all talking before the show, and it's the first time I'm telling him that this happened. So, we were talking, and I'm like, I was doing keto before, so all low carb, and that carbs do things to my body that are terrible. Like, I swell. I have I'm pre-diabetic because I'm fat, so carbs do terrible things to my body, and I keep eating them. Like, I did keto for 2 years, and then I just keep falling off and getting back on, falling off. So we're talking, and I'm like, man, like, these carbs, I feel like crap. I'm this, I'm that. And he's like, and I've gained back. I lost 80 pounds. I gained back 45. He's like, so stop. So I'm like, it's not that easy. If it was that easy, then everybody would be thin, blah, blah, blah. So later on that day, I'm like, fuck, he's right. Just stop. Like, you can't, it's hard. Yes, it's hard, but you have to do it. It's not an option. It's not just about losing weight for me, because carbs just do terrible things to my body. So I just stopped that day because Demetrius said, just stop. And I did. And now I'm not saying I've been perfect for the last couple of weeks, because I haven't. I've screwed up a little bit, but what my mindset would be pre Demetrius, kick in the ass was, like, oh, well, I had carbs, so now I can be like the hungry little caterpillar with carbs and eat through my entire kitchen. And like, well, I'm going to eat all the carbs today because I'm not going to tomorrow, which leads to, me eating 5,000 carbs or whatever ridiculous number of carbs I've eaten that day. And the next day I feel awful. And then again, your body, carbs are one of those things that your body, it's like an addiction. If you eat them, your body will crave them. So the longer you go without eating them, the less the cravings. So of course I just ate carbs yesterday. So now I want more carbs, and it starts that vicious cycle. So the next day was really rough, but I got back on it. So I went down 7 pounds in 2 weeks because I stopped eating carbs.
Good job.
Thanks for the kick in the ass, Demetrius, even though I rolled my eyes at you and was like, duh, of course, just stop. It's easy to say, but you were right. And I listened, and that worked.
The problem is carbs are like the forbidden fruit in the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve. It's like you're not supposed to eat them, but they're delicious. So like you said, you can't.
That is me in the kitchen if I've had any carbs that day. I'm like, oh look, carbs. Let me eat them all.
But it's like the Garden of Eden. You cannot take a bite of the red of the delicious red apple, even though you want it so bad.
Dude, I honestly believe that the red apple was just called that because they didn't have a proper name for lasagna noodle, and that is literally what was hanging off the tree. And God was like, "Don't eat," and then he was like, "That apple."
Wait, go ahead, Tifa. What?
You're telling me if Adam and Eve hadn't broken the rules, I could go out back to my lasagna tree?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. You'd be picking pieces of lasagna noodle off of your lasagna tree. And like I said, it just takes one person to fuck it up for everybody. And that is what happened. We would have lasagna trees today had it not been for that greedy bitch Eve.
The other thing that Gina said, which was kind of interesting, they did a study, and I still remember it. It's probably been well over a decade, but it still sticks to my brain. And it was the difference between a fat people wired brain and a normal person wired brain. And they did a study where...
Were we trying to say fat, not normal?
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know. It's just you're normal. You're normal. It's okay. But what they said was when a normal wired brain goes to eat, like let's say wants to eat something bad, and they go have a cookie. They're like, "Oh my God, I had a cookie. I'm going to stop right now. This is crazy. I can't." A fat person eats a cookie. He's like, well, fuck it. I'll start again tomorrow, and I'm going to eat the whole tray of cookies.
I've already started the sleeve. You can't reseal it.
Yeah.
So it's already, I would be just leaving money on the table if I don't finish it.
That's so true.
You know what else is a problem too is that growing up in the 80s and in the 90s, that was like a clearing your plate because they're starving kids in Africa age. Uh-huh. And so my parents, like, you had to eat everything they gave you, and they dished your plate out, and you had to clean your plate. And so now I have this like weird thing. I don't like throwing food away. It gives me anxiety because they're starving kids in Africa. So like I have to finish. So no matter how hungry I had to deprogram my brain that number one, eat the good stuff first. Don't save the good stuff for last, because then you're going to stuff yourself and eat to get to the good stuff. So eat the good stuff first. And number two, if you leave bites on the plate, leave bites on the plate. You eat till your belly's full, not till the plate's full.
See, yeah, what I tell people now is those starving kids in Africa would want me to eat this. They would be rooting for me, like, get that chicken, boy. Get that chicken. Get it. Get it. It looks so good. Chicken's so good.
I found out the response to that one time. The incorrect response was send it to him. On there, yeah, I got jabbed with a fork really sharply.
Dude, when I was a kid, I had an uncle, my Uncle Harry, who was a World War II vet and a prisoner of war, right? So when we would eat at my aunt's house, they would always bring up the fact that my uncle was captured. And before he was captured, he and his platoon had to drag a dead horse behind them just so they would have something to eat. And then my response was, well, if he's still hungry, he's more than welcome to what's on my plate. I woke up 2 days later
with the plate of food waiting for you. You didn't finish it.
Yeah. Bugs on it. So now I think everybody has their own. Sorry about that. Everyone has their own obstacles to get in shape. Like I definitely have to work out and exercise to get into shape. And my biggest obstacle is every time, like if I get a streak going, I start feeling really good about myself. And then I injure myself. Like, for example, I worked out 2 days in a row. I worked out Friday and Saturday for the first time in weeks.
Saturday. That's a big commitment on a Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday morning before work, actually. I work Saturdays too. So I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling good. So then yesterday, I'm chasing the kids around like I'm 20 years old. I'm jumping over stuff in like the playground. And then we get in the pool. And I launch my 9-year-old who weighs like 60 pounds into the air. And I pulled some kind of muscle like right here in my chest. So like if you see me rubbing her, I can barely laugh. I'm trying to watch the Browns game. I'm like, yes. Oh, my God. Ashley thinks I'm having a heart attack every 5 minutes. She's like, are you going to have a heart attack? You need to calm down. I was like, I can't even cheer right now. So, yeah. So my biggest obstacle is personal injury every time I start feeling good.
All right. So, and this is, I think a lot of people, I don't know, this is just my opinion. I think a lot of people, when they go back into working out, try to jump back into exactly where they were when they left the gym or like a few pounds lighter, you know, it took me, when I went back, I started light because I knew I was nowhere. Like, you go back to like any kind of where you used to be or where you think you should be, you're going to hurt yourself.
You bring up a great point. Because there was a time with Trainer Jeff that I was working out. This the longest consistency I ever worked out, only because he would come to my house. So like I felt bad. Like I had to work out because the dude is coming to my house and he won't take no for an answer.
Dude, trainers that show up to your house are like Jehovah's Witnesses. You're like, fuck.
I know exactly. but
have you met our Lord and Savior Bowflex?
Yeah, you're like, look.
Yeah, at least with Peloton or something like that, you can just turn it off. Like it's not the same. But
a power outage.
But it's a good point. It's like, okay, well, this is where when I was working out, this is where I worked out. So you try it again, you're like, oh shit, no, I'm not there anymore for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people where I'm like, you're gonna hurt yourself. I've watched them on machines, I've watched them on free weights, and I'm like, this is what's gonna keep you from coming back to the gym. Is because now you feel there's a little bit of pride and a little bit of shame as a guy when you first start out and you're only benching like 165 and you're like, but you're a grown man. You couldn't even lift up a fat kid. Like, how is this helpful to anybody? And so people jump and they want to throw 225 on the bar and just go at it. And you're like, well, I won't see you for another 4 months because of this rotator cuff injury. And then they come back and then they hurt themselves again because they go through the whole process. It literally, I jump probably 5 pounds every other week when I'm at the gym because I want to make sure that my form is right, my weight is right, and then once I get to a point, I can increase the weight because then I know I'm not going to walk out limping.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, and just to put a button on it, you know, there are a million diets out there, and I've tried a million diets, and I think what I've found is that the reason there are so many diets because there are some that work for some people, some that work for other people. And here's what I think it is that any diet can work, but honestly, you have to be ready mentally. Like until you're ready, it's never going to work. It's got nothing.
yeah.
It's got very little to do with the diet. It has to do with, okay, now I've come to the point where I'm really ready, because you're going to false start a billion times. So any diet will fail as well if you're not really ready. And then when you're ready and you find the right diet and those two come together, then it works. And whether it's just eating right or eating less or whatever works for you, it'll all work and it'll all not work. It all depends on when you are actually ready to do it. All right. So there was some controversy. What?
Ashley says, if you aren't limping out of the gym, did you really even work out, bro?
And exactly how much life insurance does she have out on you, Donnie?
I know, Donnie, she's pushing you.
She's the one that's always. She's got a video of me running around yesterday doing flips. She's like, first of all, she's either trying to stop me from hurting myself or she's egging me on. Like, okay, go ahead, jump over that again. Go ahead.
Ashley, I know you're listening, so I want to do something with you. Okay, Donnie, how long, honestly, if something, God forbid, were to happen to you, how long do you think Ashley would wait before she had a new father figure in the life? How long? And then Ashley, I want you to answer after post it after Donnie answers. How long do you think she'd wait? And then I want to know how long she thinks she would wait.
Oh, she would just wait until she met me on the other side.
I think the question is, how long would Tifa wait?
Holy shit, poor Ashley. Listen, Donnie, if anything ever happens to you, I'll hire her bodyguards.
Every night before we go to bed, I say, baby, I love you. Good night. I promise I will never die.
Chris, I want to say thank you for giving me probably the best laugh of 2021. That was absolutely amazing.
And it goes back to our conversation last week. You have to realize where you're at. You're a 3, 4, 5, and Ashley is a 8, 9,
12.
12.
Yeah, but she'll be a widow with like 2 kids, and I figure
knocks her down.
3. What happened? Did half? What?
Yeah. Like 2, 3. I don't know how many kids she's got. She's got several.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you. You probably want to get a hold of the number first. Like the number of children definitely knocked down a woman's number. Like, if you got 6 kids under the age of 5 and you're a 10, you're a 4 now. Each kid is responsible for knocking a point off your score.
I agree. Is it possible? Let me ask you guys a question. By the way, Ashley says this is so morbid, but I would never even think about it. I'll wait until I get over the side. Oh, look, you guys.
She would wait till somebody was like, "Ma'am, is this your mail?" And you're like, "Whoa, hey."
I guess he looks enough like Donnie.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Ashley is the cutest. I love her.
I forgot what I was going to even say now, but what was I talking about?
What is it going to take to drop down someone from being like a 10? What would it take?
Oh, yeah. I think that this has actually happened, and I can't say with personal experience, but I have a feeling that there are men that, because men hide it more, but that are so self-conscious, they doubt themselves. What do you call that?
Self-doubt?
Insecure. Thank you, Donnie. Donnie came up with the right word. I think there are. How dare you, Colleen? I'm supposed to.
You know what that says? She's running interviews now.
Wait, why were you? I was asked her. I was like, "Why is Tifa at the house?" As I was pulling up the other day.
Oh God, no! She
was picking up something up.
Hey! I'm just happy they've gotten the interview. Okay.
Tifo, you have to get an actual human friend first, and then you can tell me what I need to do to keep my 8 status with all.
I'm not the one that was numbering you. I'm not that crass. But seriously, keep my number.
Oh, listen, speaking of self-esteem, Tifa's going to jump off a bridge after this show. Colleen's ewing him. Ashley's coming in with the burners. Oh,
Colleen and Ashley, either get on a mic or get your own show. What the hell? No, okay. So anyway, my what I want to finish my thought was that I think there are men that are so insecure out there that they encourage their women to have babies because they know that there's more chance of them staying. Does that make sense? I don't. Maybe not.
I mean, no, it really happens, but it's a very abusive tactic. Like, I'm gonna knock you up to keep you. That's
crazy.
Yeah,
that
that's
is,
not.
That is the exact opposite of what like it would bring you. Like if your relationship is rocky. And you honestly think that bringing a baby into a relationship is going to somehow solidify it? You live on an opposite world where things that are bad are good. DC universe, they call it Bizarro Land.
Yeah, well, I know what Andrew's talking about. It's not about solidifying the relationship. It's about limiting her options going forward.
Yes,
it is a very abusive tactic.
Because, like I said,
because what you've done now.
Because it's your insecurity, and you're like, oh my god, well, I have to make her as least attractive as I can, so I know that no other man can take her from me.
Well, it's not even that. It's just usually, she's got the kid, and so there's a lot of second thinking about leaving you in that sense. Well, I've got the kid. We need to stay together for the kid. There's a lot of other stuff. It's not about fixing the relationship. It's just about the appearance.
Man, first of all, it is
nuts. Like what you're saying, whether a man does that or a woman does that, it's crazy.
But they both do it.
If that happens, run, because that is extremely toxic.
But they don't say it. I mean, you don't know. They wouldn't. That's something they don't say because they know it's bad. It's something. It's an inner head thing. But I know it happens. It happens.
Oh yeah, and I don't understand the mentality of that. Absolutely. And especially now in 2020, women are quick to leave you. Like they have seen enough Maury and enough Oprah to know that they don't need your ass. Right. They don't like that. Like they have heard enough therapists say that children will be healthier in a happier home without two parents that are trying to kill each other. They know all that stuff. And they also know that the court loves them. And that they can take whatever they want from you at any time. And they don't need you in the house because they can take half of what you got and take it with them.
See, and that's why I stay broke, because half of nothing, come on, might as well stay.
Yeah.
And I do, okay, and looking at a guy point of view, let's say Tifa, you're single. But let's say Donnie
thanks for just throwing that out there.
I don't think that's like a news flash. Like this isn't nobody's shocked. I mean, unless they're a Browns fan.
Is there a point for a man that's single? Let's say you've got this woman's amazing, like you have this amazing chemistry. Is there an amount of kids that you go, there isn't that much. There isn't that amount of chemistry in the world.
Yep.
Really?
Every 5 years you add a kid.
Nope. I'll tell you, I went to I was seeing this girl and I was on the road. I met her in St. Joe, Michigan. Okay. And we're hanging out and I had a day between shows. And so I'm just like hanging out at her house. She had to go to work. She says to me, she's like, look, she's like, I got a kid. He'll be coming home from school and, but it's all good. Just say hi and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, cool. And so this kid comes in and I'm like, hey, and he was like, hey, and then this other kid comes in and he was like, hey, and I'm like, hey, you guys just come back from school and like, is this what you're hanging out? And he's like, yeah. And then this other kid walks in And I'm like, hey. And then another kid walks in. and she had said to me earlier, she was like, some of these kids like just come and hang out with my kid after school.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, but they're really seems to be very familiar with each other and know where a lot of shit is in this house, you know. And I'm like, and I walk around and I'm like seeing pictures of these children. I'm like, there is no fucking way you have pictures of other people's kids hanging on your wall.
They're really
and
good friends.
Then, like, I walk around and I walk into the room and like there's like 5 fucking beds in these, and I'm like, you don't keep spare rooms for strange children, like, and why is it they have all this shit here? And come to find out, they were all her kids. And she was like, you know, I really wanted you to really like me before like all of this like came out. And I was like, bitch, you shouldn't have done this the day of a school night. That is the dumbest. Like,
he's like, well, I didn't think you were going to be so funny and attractive.
Yeah, like
when she went to the
show. And their daddy's got these kids.
You gotta think about this, Demetrius. You were such a catch. She was willing to hide children for you.
Yeah, her own children, bro. Her own. That was a choice she made.
The question is, did she train them to be friends of the one kid?
Dude, I would say she probably didn't send them the memo like, hey, if the guy is in the house, pretend like you only one of you lives here. I don't know which one gets to make that choice. Like, who gets to live here this week? So,
but, should I be worried? I mean, Ashley just posted it's a complete double standard. Men can have multiple, and most women will be understanding. Women are not given that same luxury. So obviously it's something that she's thought about.
Well, I think it is telling that Andrew said women, and he didn't say anybody in particular. I have so many problems with this scenario. First of all, who the hell leaves some strange man in their house for their kids to come home from school? Like, huge red flag. Huge red flag.
The type of woman that would go for me.
And no, nobody is ever leaving you home alone to meet her children after school. Not happening.
No.
But also, yeah, it is. Ashley's right. Like, but I do have a limit, though. Andrew just didn't ask about mine. Like, but mine isn't children. Like, you can have 7 kids. That's fine, as long as you don't have more than 2 babies mamas. You got more than 2 babies mamas, I cannot talk to you, because that means there is going to be so much drama is going to be happening behind that I don't want anything to do with it. So for me, it's not necessarily kids. There's not a magic kid number, but there is a magic baby mama number.
2 baby mamas. All right. Wow. Well, okay. I want to move on to something else. My mom actually on Friday got the COVID-19 vaccine.
Oh, does she have superpowers now?
Yeah, my dad just got it as well.
She already did. Motherly love.
Yes.
Look at her. She loves Andrew, dude. That is her superpower.
But so yeah, I mean, I would think that you have to feel a bit like you have a superpower anyway, just to be able to have it and like to walk around and then not have to worry. I mean, you still have to get the second one, which she does in like 3 weeks or something, but she's already scheduled for the second one too. So
dude, I will fight people like it's a Walmart Black Friday special for that vaccine. Like, I will throw people out of my way to get to the front of that line. I want that vaccine so bad right now.
I'm with you. You know, and you know, they say that there are people that won't take it. Of course, the anti-vaxxers or people that listen. I know exactly.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
It's apparently not just anti-vaxxers necessarily, but there's apparently a bunch of like nurses and doctors and stuff that are saying they're not going to take it, and I don't see how they have an option.
Right. If you're treating me.
It's because it's not like officially FDA approved. It's the emergency. Yeah. It's the emergency approval, and I think workplaces can't force them like they can with the flu shot. Like, get it or you can't work here. So I'm pretty sure it's a liability thing that they can't make them.
No, I mean, honestly, they've talked about this over and over again. Employers can mandate that you get this vaccine. It's they have an absolute right to do it, especially in right to work states. You know, they can tell you it's part of it's a condition of working here. And if you don't want to meet that condition, Huntington Bank won't hire people who smoke.
Yeah.
But smoking's legal.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places that won't hire people that smoke.
I saw something online that I thought was kind of interesting. You know how Biden is pushing for the $2,000 stimulus now that he's in office, and the Democrats have control of the House and the Senate. Someone said, "Well, here's what you do: is if you take the vaccine, we'll give you your $2,000." So you don't think the percentage would go from 50 or 60% to 99%?
People to get medical procedures, if on that at all. Like the Red Cross refuses to pay me for my blood, I'm not going to accept. I'm not going to accept other people getting paid to take a vaccine that they should be taking in the first place.
Well, and not only that, but there are people that can't. So you can't base a stimulus on whether or not they can get the vaccine, because there are people that actually can't get the vaccine.
I'm sure there'd be waivers for
right,
that.
and then everybody would get the waivers, just like everybody all of a sudden had fucking breathing problems when we needed to wear masks.
No one could wear a mask when
all of a sudden everybody has asthma and COPD. Everybody, though, I'm just saying.
All right, Tifo, do you have any news before we go?
Yeah, well, I had a couple here. For instance, just wanted to point out, Biden's going to have his inauguration on January 20th, but slightly before, they're going to throw an indoctrination for his dog Champ, since he'll be the first rescue dog in the White House.
Champ, the only dog we talk about. What about the other dog? Is it Major or something?
Yeah, that is the dog we're talking about.
There's two. He's got two dogs.
Yeah, there's Champ. Champ is, I believe, because Champ is. Oh wait, no. Major is the first rescue dog. The other dog is Champ. Excuse me. And so that's why everyone talks about Major, is because he's the first rescue dog that's going to be in the White House.
You know how good it feels to talk about normal, stupid presidential news?
I know.
Oh my God, this is amazing! This is the best day of my life. We're talking about president's dogs and who. Yes, this is important. Let's talk. Keep going.
And they're going to have a special indoctrination ceremony for the dog prior to the inauguration on there. Also in the UK, they're looking at a program to start letting prisoners smoke cannabis as a way to try to reduce overdose deaths.
Well, it's also a method of torture to be in jail smoking weed and not have any munchies. Like that's.
it might get to the EU Human Rights Court for there.
Yeah.
First of all, if you're going to let people smoke weed in prison because you're having too many overdose deaths, maybe you need to do a better job of frisking people. How about that? It just seems like you're letting people with bricks of heroin through. Like, nobody can overdose with a little condom shoved up their ass. Now, if you let people walk in with 3 pounds of heroin and bricks, and you're like, what's this? And you're like, well, I tell you it's powdered sugar, but we both know it's heroin. You probably have a shitty search process.
So they're looking at doing that, which is just a beautiful program, I think. Now they've, and the last thing here in Reading Township, New York, this is a little feel-good story. There was a cat literally stuck up a tree about 75 feet up. And the fire department was called out, and they went up. And as they got closer to the cat jumped off the tree and went all 75 feet down, landed on its feet, and started walking around just fine. And so the firemen, defeated, decided to start getting away from the tree. And as they got lower and lower and away from the tree, the cat then did the ultimate cat FU and jumped back into the tree. Where they have decided to leave the cat on its own volition.
Fucking cats, dude. That is such a cat move.
How much money and time was spent to get that cat out of that tree for it to go, yeah, screw you, and jump right back up in it?
It is a very cat thing to do, for sure.
Cats always climb trees. I mean, you see mountain lions and branches and shit like that. Like, don't call the fire department for a regular tree climbing animal. You got to call the fire department for an unregular animal that you see in a tree. Like, you're like, holy fuck, there's an elephant in this maple. We need somebody to come and get. We don't even know how the hell it got up here. It must have been a big ass mouse that scared it up the tree. Now, so then you call the fire department, or you go, oh my God, there's a hippo in a bush. Like, what the fuck? How did the hippo get there? Like, you don't call the fire department for a cat or a kid or anything.
The problem is with the domesticated cat, they have the same instinct of going up into the tree, but once they're up there, most of the time they don't know how to get back down, and so they're stuck.
Wow! Look at you with creepy cat info.
We had a cat a long time ago. It was like 20 years ago. We saw a cat in a tree, so we called the fire department. And they said we don't do that, so we don't get cats out of the tree. So we're all sitting there like, how do we get this cat out of the tree? And this cat was really stuck. It was just up there crying. So my friend's like, well, I bet you they get humans out of the tree. So this is completely logical thought process. So she climbs into the tree and we take the ladder away. So we call the fire department. And we say there's a person stuck in the tree. So the fire department came out and they helped her get down. And I was like, well, while you're here, you might as well just get the cat out of the tree too. So they're like, okay, fine. So we ended up getting the cat out of the tree too. It was kind of funny.
It worked.
It worked.
Hey.
I feel like the fire department shouldn't be a hey, while you're here sort of situation. We came out for a job, we did that job. Have a nice night.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't dumb. They knew.
Got a plunger. All right.
Yeah. Hey, while you're here, here's some hedge trimmers, just a little up top.
All right, before we go, and I saved it till the end. Is it, the whole events that unfolded last Wednesday, the failed coup attempt at the Capitol building, we're finding out more scary information pretty much every single day. Is it as we get closer to January 20th and the new president, is anyone worried or is anyone figure that was done? Yeah, I know, dude. I don't know what's gonna happen.
I mean, you can shake your head, but these people are fucking idiots. We're not talking about people like these people are the dumbest of the dumb. They are morons, and they're absolutely going to try something.
Well,
they're
nuts. They're not. They're not going to try anything at the inauguration, and it's not because like they don't want to. But I think a lot of people have to understand that once you do something like one time, then you can't do it again, right? Yeah. Like we're only going to let you crash a plane into a building once. Then we're going to be hyper vigilant about it, right? We're only going to let Mike Vick fucking fight a dog once until he gets caught. Then the next dog he buys is going to be the safest dog in the world, right? so
you do bring up a good point. We're in America. We are kings of fortifying things after the fact, and then 11 we fortified and do all this thing with the airplanes. There's never been another airplane thing. It is a good point that but I'm still worried these guys doing something, and the dark web is going crazy.
That's because Dee's being logical, and there's no logic in mental illness. There's no logic. These people have issues.
Here's the problem, and look, this is how shit's never going to get fixed. And then I'm going to get off this little soapbox. We have to stop calling all of them mentally ill.
The ones attacking the White House, the ones doing a coup, though, they are nuts. You can't tell me they're not.
Real quick, hold on. I don't think you're calling everyone, because I know I'll let you get back to you, I promise. But the problem is, it's not a Republican-Democrat thing.
Right, right.
Gina's talking about, I don't hate Republicans. I don't think Republicans are mentally ill. They're not. Republicans and Democrats are not. This is a fringe Trump group that has been radicalized over the last 4 years by social media, by right-wing media, by talk radio, by the president himself. These are a certain group of people. That's a significant amount of people, and they're significantly armed and do all this stuff. But they're not
Trump supporters not going to walk in there. Yeah, the typical Trump supporter is not going to walk in there and try to blow shit up. They're just going to be pissed off because their president, they're the person they voted for lost. They're angry. They're irritated. I get that.
On Wednesday, they went in to kill Nancy Pelosi and Mike Pence. So
they're nuts.
You're right.
And video of them beating a cop to death.
I know.
I don't think they beat him to death. They don't. Yeah. They still couldn't. They couldn't identify the cop that they dragged out of there. It's not fair to say that.
Okay, they dragged a cop out and beat him, and another one got hit with a fire extinguisher, got killed. So that's actually two separate incidences. That's nuts.
the ironic thing is the guy that they pulled out in this dramatic video, they pulled out of the Capitol, and they were beating him with the American flag. It's so Trumpy.
It is. But what I guess I'm trying to want people to understand is that was a crowd of like what 20,000 people, right? 20,000 people out of 73 million that voted for him.
Right.
Now, in conjunction, you look at that number, that's a small number of people. So what's happening though is that I feel like a lot of us are trying to incorporate all people who supported Trump. I mean, I've seen so many people say you've like dragged us through the mud. It's crazy. It's a small group of people, but it only takes a small group of people to do horrible things. Well, it only took 6 people to hijack a plane, right?
Right, and I'm saying a small group of 20,000 armed people can do some damage. That's not.
So here's the thing about that, D, and I know this is petty, but we all know know that I'm petty. Like I don't try to hide my petty. I am going to give them the same energy that they gave BLM.
Well, that's not how you win.
BLM protesters were rioters. Okay, cool. I'm not calling you a protester. I'm going to call you a rioter, just like you did BLM.
But look, what's good for the goose is not always good for the gander, and we can't. If this is how that shit is, then we're never going to get better.
Right. No, and I, like I said, I don't think Republicans are
no, I don't either. I don't even think Trump supporters, like if you're a Trump supporter, I'm not really putting you in that group. I'm not really doing that.
So here's what we can say is not all Trump supporters are mentally ill, but there is a significant amount of them that have been radicalized, and it's the Army's 20,000. I mean, that's a lot of people in a country of 350 million. It's not. But that's a lot of people that can do
damage, and they can hurt people.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll definitely keep an eye on it as we get
closer. Go Browns.
What's that?
It's go Browns. And tonight,
go Bucks.
Oh yeah, go Buckeyes.
Tonight it's go Bucks.
Poor Donnie. All right, for he's on Southside Gina, Demetrius Nicodemus, Chris Tiefel, Donnie P. I'm Andrew Z. Thanks you guys for listening. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Come on.